Lucid Perspective channel. We in here. I'm trying the sunglass thing again. I do it on and off. It is what it is. What we talking about? AI. We talking about artificial intelligence. And I got a video. It is type cringy. It is type scary, depending on how you feel. It is basically the beginning of the end. I'm not a doomsdayer per se. I do think there's a lot of promise with artificial intelligence. I think it has the ability to relinquish a lot of labor and work off of mankind. The real question is at what cost, right? That's really what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying? At what cost to mankind? AI right now is at a place where it is being used creatively, is being used for labor, mundane tasks, administration work and such. The new question is not even a new question, but today's video is about art, using AI in art. In this particular case, comedy sketches, stand-up comedy. And it also begs the question on the whole Turig Test. If you know what the Turig Test is, it was developed by a guy named Turig years and years ago, or maybe like 100 years ago or so. And basically what this says is if a human can speak to or interact with a robot or some type of artificial intelligence without being told that it's AI or a robot, right? And then with that lack of knowledge, not being able to tell the difference that he or she is talking to a robot or a machine. If a robot or a program or an algorithm can pass that test, if a human cannot tell they're talking to a machine, basically, is that Turing test. I got a video here. It is pretty much an AI replicant. I'm going to use cyberpunk terms. What's that movie? In Blade Runner terms, it's like a replicant, and it's basically doing a stand-up of the late, great George Carlin. And it sounds like him. It's got his voice. It's got his cadence. It's got his type of humor. And to be honest, if you wasn't told that it was AI, you would probably think it was an old video of him, or not a video, but an old audio recording of him that was never released. You would probably think it's new, but it's modernized for today, right? So he's talking about things that happened or that is modern, which obviously, he passed away some time ago. He wouldn't be talking about because he's actually, the real person is dead. George Carlin is dead. But this is an AI doing a stand-up on some recent things, right? So that's your clue there. But outside of that, you probably couldn't tell. It was, it's not him. And that's where we are right now. So let me play the video.
If there's one comedian I really love who would have had a lot to say about everything going on in the world right now, it's George Carlin. So I watched and listened to all of his material to develop my impression of him, and I put together a brand new hour-long stand-up comedy special.
There's one line of work that is most threatened by AI one job that is most likely to be completely erased because of artificial intelligence. Stand-up comedy. I know what all the stand-up comics across the globe are saying right now. I'm an artist and my art form is too creative, too nuanced, too subtle to be replicated by a machine. No computer program can tell a fart joke as good as me.
This is insane.
Well, let's see. This is just off the top of my artificially intelligent head. A fart was in the middle of a very nasty divorce, so she went to her sister's house and she asked her sister, "Do you think I'm doing the right thing by getting divorced?" And her sister said, "He's been holding you back for too long. You have to leave that ass."
Oh, shit, dude.
This is AI.
Yeah. Look at that part's
There you
face.
have it. Stand-up comedy is dead. Literally. I might be the first stand-up comic to be brought back from the dead by AI, but I certainly won't be the last. Richard Pryor, Joan Rivers, Bill Hicks, Robin Williams, Dick Gregory, Andy Kaufman, Moms Mabley, Sam Kinison, everybody's coming back. And we're all going to have our own 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year streams commenting on everything that's happening in the world as it happens. AI resurrected stand-up comedians are going to be the news anchors of the next decade, which,
God, dude,
now that I think of it, means news anchors are probably out of a job too. And I know that some people are going to be against that. Some people are always going to want a real flesh and blood human being observing the world and telling jokes about it. And I get that. I really do. But if you can keep an open mind, I think I can make a case for at least one comedian we can all agree is better in AI form. Bill Cosby.
So what do you think? It sounds like George Carlin. It has its type of humor. There was a couple of funny lines in there. It also replicated him in how he talks politically about the current state of the world at the time that he was alive. So that is something, it sounds like something he would talk about, right? Now, again, this is AI, right? I'm sure there's parameters, there's prompts put in to have the algorithm put all that together and pump that out. But it stands to question. The real question is human art dead? Is human creativity dead because of this? We all know we're in that segue now where it's being used in conjunction with human creativity and art today, right? Me, myself included, I use it for my creative space. I know others do it as well, but it's not, as of today, it's not at a point where it's replacing human creativity, right? But with such advances such as this, when will that threshold pass where it's like, okay, we don't need humans at all, right? Maybe not even the prompts, right? It just takes off on its own, can create movies, can create music, can create stand-up, hour-long stand-up specials where not only can it pass the Turig Test, but as a society, we're at a point where we don't know what's AI and what's human made, nor are we at a point where we care, right? That might be the question. Will we ever get to a point where we don't care about the type of art we're consuming, the type of creations we're consuming? Because as long as it's entertaining us and we're consuming it for the reasons we want, there's not really a market for whether it's AI or human made, right? There's no delineation. It's just what is, right? And there's a whole lot of other the whole other side of that when it comes to who would own George Carlin's voice, right? Is there an estate? Is there some type of agreement where his estate can own his likeness, his voice, his face, if they use video, if they use AI videography for example? Can all new productions be made with all deceased actors and comedians and musicians, right? Using their estate as the recipient of any residuals or any funds, going to that. There's all type of heap of questions. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I put this question on you. I think it's just some scary times as far as human creativity goes and art goes. Personally, I think there should be some legislation passed to where any type of major production, not even major, any type of production of AI generated art, music, stand-up, movies, videos, whatever, should be clearly labeled AI to draw the distinction between machine art, machine creativity, and humans. Because I think if we don't do that, and the lines get blurred and we get it to a point where people don't really care, right? A lot of artists, a lot of creatives, a lot of human ingenuity that we've been able to enjoy for centuries, right? And millennia, we're going to lose. I feel like some of us might even lose the passion for that, because if a machine can pump it out in record time, right? With less resources and less brain power, why would we do it? You know what I'm saying? And that's just if we stay in a capitalist economy where obviously being creative can be therapeutic, right? For spiritual purposes and therapeutic purposes, and you can create it for yourself. But as far as for a job or living in a capitalist society, right? You're never going to be able to, you won't be able to compete with the AI machines, if they're pumping out art and creativity. So this only is a factor in a capitalist society. Now, if we're not in a capitalist society, where we don't need to pump out creation and be creative to live, I don't think that's the problem there. I think that's a whole nother, discussion for another topic. But here we are. AI is now doing stand-up comedy of deceased comedians. We've heard the Drake songs, Drake AI songs. We've heard the Weeknd, AI songs. We know AI can already create music that sounds like alive musicians as well as deceased musicians. We're at a scary time right now. If you're a creative, I say keep creating for life. You know what I'm saying? I would never, hopefully, I would hope that it doesn't get to a point where it's so bad that people don't care and they just consume an AI as opposed to human creations. But you never know. We don't know where we'll be a few years from now. This stuff is advancing really fast, right? This is 2024. I can imagine 2-3 years from now, where would we actually be if these advancements continue? So that's the video. If you like this video, please share, subscribe. I will see you guys on the next time. Thanks.